I'm seriously debating whether or not I should even be making this video in the first place, because I promised myself that I will no longer be airing my dirty laundry in public or give voice to toxic men through my platform. But then again, I'm here debating with myself, why do men feel the need to pin down women every single time they're challenged? Story time. So this evening, I decided to go to Carrefour and do a little bit of shopping. Nothing too grand, because I was just taking a walk and I was like, oh, let me just pop in and see what's there. So I do my shopping, I finish. On my way home, I decide, let me stop by the grocery store, because I was like, you know what, I need to get mboga for supper. So I stop by there. I'm going to get myself some groceries, and while I'm there, there's like a queue. Yeah, so ananiambia, oh, kuna mtu mmoja mbele yako, so just chill. So there's usually like a sitting place over there where you can just like sit. So I sit and I tell him, oh, can I get like a pineapple? Because my sister introduced me to this whole idea of like pineapples with pepper, and I've become addicted. Even though it's like bad for my ulcers, I am addicted. Anyways, I digress. Back to what you're talking about. Yeah, so this guy comes around and I can see him coming. I can just like see him walk up, and he looks at me and he's asking me, oh, how much is ABCD? And I just tell him I don't know. But then he keeps on persisting. He persists even further. He's like, oh, how much is the nyanya? How much is the... I'm just like... And then he proceeds to ask me, do you work here? In which I nod to imply, no, I don't work here. And I go back to my phone, because when he came in, I was literally just scrolling through TikTok. So I go back to my phone, I continue scrolling. Tell me why he decides to push further. So he pushes further and he's like, are you serious? Because, I just like wanted to buy something. And I'm like, so now at this point, I'm like, okay, ni kama unanitafuta, sawa, I will give it to you. So what do? I stand up and I'm like, okay, what did you want to buy? What do you want? I can help you. What do you want? Because clearly he wants me to help him, even though he can clearly see that the guy who works there, like a couple of nakata mboga, but he's still pushing it, man. He's still pushing it. So I stand up and I ask him, what do you want? And then he proceeds to tell me how he wanted, I think, nyanya, hoho, kitungu. And I let him list them all out. And I'm like, okay, sure, I can give that to you, but it's going to be 10,000 and you have to pay fast. And so he stares at me, I stare at him, and there's a moment of silence. And I go ahead, I repeat, I'm like, it's 10,000. Are you going to pay first before I package it? And so he looks at me and he's like, you're being sarcastic. And I'm like, yeah, I'm being sarcastic because I told you 3-4 times that I don't work here, and you continued to push. But you know what? He works here, so how about you talk to him? Because clearly you can see he's cutting the vegetables. And so what do? I go back and I sit down. And so he's talking to the guy like anamfungia mboga nini. Me, I'm back on my phone, like I'm minding my business. And then I can't really remember what it is that he said, but he said something to, oh yeah, he asked me like, are you always like that? And I'm like what? He's like sarcastic. I'm like, oh, trust me, I carry a ball of sarcasm everywhere I go, and whenever it's needed, I take it out. And he's like, sarcasm? And I'm like, yeah, that's my middle name. And he's like, your pronunciation. And I'm like, what about it? He's like, it's wrong. And I'm like, oh, really? I didn't realize it. And then he proceeds to tell me that when you have an accent, there's a 99.9% chance that your pronunciation is going to be wrong. And so he tells me how. He's like, your accent is fake. And I'm like, how would you know? Do you have an accent? He's like, no, I don't have an accent. I'm like, well, everybody has an accent. We just don't know it. But for you to think that yours is right and mine is wrong, who made you the accent police? So he's looking at me and he's like, it doesn't matter. Your accent is fake. And I'm like, you barely know me. You've only had like 3 minutes or less of conversation with me. And all of a sudden, you are eloquence police. And you know when my pronunciation is wrong and when my accent is fake. And so he looks at me and he's like, yeah, I can tell, man. Bitch, you're faking it. And I'm like, bitch, I'm faking it? And so you think just because you've got a lower accent in you that makes you high and mighty and above me, and you actually have the power to judge me? So now we start exchanging words, and there's a guy who had parked across the road. So the guy is like ushering onto him to hurry. He's like, yo, man, may need to go home. And this guy is here trying to make stupid comments about how my accent is fake. So what do? I just withdraw because I'm like, oh my God, I am way above this. He's probably just a nobody. Mark you, this is not even like a 16-year-old. This is not even like a 17. To be honest, it looked like he was a man in his 40s. This legit looked like a man in his 40s who felt like he could just stand and argue with a 25-year-old about whether my accent is fake or not, simply because I told him this is 10,000 and you have to pay first. But then again, he pushed for it. So now as he's leaving, he's still making comments and I'm unresponsive. So he looks like he's mad for talking to himself. So what do I do to just pinch him a little bit further? I asked the guy who's selling that, I'm like, did you make sure he paid? He looks like the kind of guy who'd run away without paying. And I make sure I say it loud enough for him to hear. And so he hears that and he's like asking, oh, is this the name? Is this the name? Like I just sent it. Is this the name where it's supposed to go to? And I could tell. I pinched it. So he walks to the car where his friend or whoever was in. And the guy's like, man, I need to get home to my wife. Like, come on, ingia. And so instead of them driving away, I could tell he's like narrating everything that just happened to the guy. So they're sitting there and they're making comments and they're like trying to get my attention. But I'm eating my pineapple. I'm minding my business. And it pisses them off. The fact that they're trying to say all these vulgar things and it's just like, it's not getting to me. Like, I mean, I know the way I speak is envied by so many people and a Luo man especially, given the fact that his accent was so heavily inclined by his mother tongue. I knew it would pain him. And so I gave him zero attention and eventually they just like drove off. Anyway, guys, if you get a chance to step on a man, I promise you, stomp on him as many times as you can. Because if they ask him to do the same to you, he will not even blink twice, not even once. He will do it and he will do it with every single ounce of strength in him. So yeah, be wicked out there, ladies.